Tonight begins differently. Not with worry, not with racing thoughts, not with the invisible pressure to figure everything out before your head hits the pillow. Tonight, we begin with surrender. You've walked through this day. You've given what you could. You've held conversations, responsibilities, emotions. Some of it made you smile. Some of it drained your strength. Some of it felt ordinary. Some of it left a quiet ache in your soul. But this is the moment where it all changes. Because this night belongs to God. You don't have to take today into the dark with you. You don't have to rehearse every detail of what went wrong or what still feels undone. You don't have to be the strong one anymore. You don't have to hold your breath and hold your world together at the same time. God is already here. And He's ready to hold what you're holding. He's ready to carry what has been weighing down your mind. He's ready to step in, not just tomorrow, but tonight. This is holy ground now. A sacred pause, a soft landing place, a sanctuary of peace, not because everything is perfect, but because His presence is here. The Word says in Psalm 4:8, "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." Let those words wrap around your heart. In peace, I will lie down. In peace, I will sleep. Not in panic, not in pressure, not in performance. Because the Lord Himself is your shelter. He is your keeper tonight. He surrounds your home like a shield. He leans in close to quiet your soul. And He's not asking you to earn this peace. He's inviting you to receive it. Take a slow breath right now. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, whisper softly, "God, I give this day to you." There may still be unfinished things, but He already knows. There may be people on your heart. He sees them. There may be problems without solutions. He's working in ways you can't yet see. This is not your moment to fix anything. This is your moment to release everything. Let go of the mental noise. Let go of the emotional residue. Let go of what you should have said, should have done, should have known. Let go of regret. Let go of worry. Let go of the weight. You weren't made to carry it into the night. That's not your assignment. Your only assignment now is trust. Letting go is not weakness. Letting go is the first act of faith. Faith that God is big enough, wise enough, loving enough, present enough to take what you've lived through today and turn it into something beautiful tomorrow. You've made it through another day. That alone is enough reason to pause and say, "Lord, I'm still here, and I choose to end this day in your presence." Some days feel productive, others feel messy, but every day ends in the arms of a God who never stops loving you. Let tonight begin not with scrolling, not with overthinking, but with sacred stillness. Let it begin with the whisper of your heart returning home. Let it begin with the beautiful decision to say, "Lord, help me leave today in your hands." You don't need to rehearse the past. You don't need to forecast the future. You just need to rest. He already knows what happened today. He already knows what's coming tomorrow. And He knows exactly how to carry you through it all tonight. You can trade striving for stillness. You can trade exhaustion for grace. You can trade control for communion. You are not lying here alone in the dark. You are lying here covered in the presence of the one who formed you, who sees you, who delights in you, who holds your life in his hands with perfect tenderness and power. So let tonight begin with peace, not because life is fixed, but because you have chosen to trust the one who holds all things together. Say it softly if you can, God. I trust you with this night. I trust you with my thoughts. I trust you with my heart. I trust you with my home. Let every breath be an act of surrender. Let every heartbeat be a prayer. Let every minute of rest tonight become holy ground for renewal. Because this is what sacred rest looks like. It's not just sleep. It's sleeping in peace. It's letting go so God can take over. It's stepping into stillness and knowing deep in your soul that you are safe. You don't have to carry today into the night. God is already here, and tonight belongs to Him. If you desire a deeper connection with God and want to join us in daily prayer, write Amen in the comments as your declaration that you are here. Ready to trust Him tonight? There's something sacred about knowing someone cares. Not just when you're in crisis, not just when you've got it all together, but in the middle of the normal, the unnoticed, the quiet details of your life. That's how God loves you. He doesn't wait for the emergency. He doesn't step in only when things explode. He is with you in every moment, watching, listening, carrying, caring. From the smallest ache in your body, to the appointment you keep thinking about, to the family tension you've learned to smile through, to the unread message that stirred anxiety, to the future plans you're afraid to speak out loud. God cares about it all. The little things, the overwhelming things, the things that seem too trivial to mention in prayer, the things that feel too big to touch without crying. There's nothing too insignificant for His attention, and there's nothing too massive for His power. His word says in Matthew 6:26, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Let that truth sink in. You've been strong for so long. Strong in front of people who needed you. Strong in conversations where you couldn't show how tired you really were. Strong in responsibilities that didn't pause just because your heart felt heavy. Strong in moments where you wanted to sit down and cry, but instead, you stood up and kept going. And now the day is ending. The noise is quieting. The lights are dimming. And for the first time in hours, maybe for the first time all day, you can finally admit the truth. You're tired. Not just physically, though your body feels worn. Not just emotionally, though your heart feels stretched thin, but spiritually tired. Soul tired. The kind of tired that doesn't always show on the outside, but lives deep inside your chest. And here is the gentle truth you need to hear tonight. God does not need you to be strong right now. He never asked you to carry everything alone. He never expected perfection from you. He only asks for surrender. The world rewards strength, but God responds to honesty. You don't have to explain yourself to Him. You don't have to clean yourself up first. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You can come exactly as you are, tired, overwhelmed, unsure, worn down, and He will meet you there. The word says in Isaiah 40:29, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Not to the ones who have it all together, not to the ones who never struggle, but to the weary, to the exhausted, to the ones who feel like they're running on empty. If that's you tonight, you are not failing. You are simply human, and you are deeply loved. There are battles you've been fighting that no one else can see. Quiet battles, internal battles. Battles that happen in your thoughts, in your memories, in the silent hours. God sees every one of them. He sees the courage it took just to get through the day. He sees the tears you swallowed. He sees the prayers you couldn't finish. He sees the moments you smiled when you wanted to collapse. And He's not disappointed in you. He's drawing near. The Bible reminds us in 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your cares on Him, because He cares for you. All your cares, not just the big, important, respectable ones, but the messy ones, the confusing ones, the ones you're embarrassed to admit you're still carrying. Cast them on Him. You don't have to hold them anymore. You don't have to keep replaying them in your mind. You don't have to stay tense and alert and braced for what might happen next. Tonight, it's okay to cry. It's okay to rest. It's okay to exhale. Healing doesn't begin when you try harder. Healing begins when striving ends. So let yourself soften right now. Unclench your jaw, lower your shoulders. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. Nothing is required of you in this moment except honesty. You don't need to prove your faith by being strong. You show your faith by laying everything down. God is not impressed by exhaustion. He is moved by trust. And trust sounds like this, Lord. I'm tired. I don't have it in me tonight. I need you to hold me, if you can. Whisper this prayer softly, either out loud or in your heart. Lord, I'm tired. Hold me while I rest. Let that prayer linger. Let it be enough. God is not standing over you with expectations tonight. He is kneeling beside you with compassion. He knows the weight you've been carrying. He knows how long you've been carrying it. And He knows exactly how to lift it off your soul. You are allowed to stop trying for a moment. You are allowed to let your guard down. You are allowed to be weak in the presence of a God who is strong. The strength you need tomorrow doesn't come from pushing yourself tonight. It comes from resting in Him. So rest. Rest your mind from worrying. Rest your heart from replaying. Rest your spirit from striving. God is not leaving anything undone because you stopped. He is not falling behind because you paused. He is not disappointed because you need rest. In fact, He invites it. He invites you to lay your head down, knowing you are held. He invites you to close your eyes, knowing He is awake. He invites you to sleep, knowing the battles you couldn't win today are already in His hands. You don't have to be strong tonight. You just have to be His. And that is more than enough. Breathe again, slowly, deeply. God is here. He sees you. He understands you, and He is carrying what you no longer have the strength to hold. Tonight, let your strength be this simple surrender, Lord. I'm tired. Hold me while I rest, and as you rest, He will renew you. You've spent so much energy trying to make it all work, trying to connect the dots, trying to map out the right path, take the right steps, make the right decisions, and even when you don't say it out loud, your heart still whispers it. God, I just want to know what's next. You're not alone in that longing. We all want answers. We want clarity. We want timelines. We want to know that our efforts are not in vain and that we're headed in the right direction. But tonight, God is offering something deeper than answers. He's offering you peace, not the peace that comes from knowing every detail, but the peace that comes from knowing Him, the peace that comes from releasing what you can't figure out, the peace that comes from resting in a plan far bigger and wiser than your own. Scripture reminds us in Proverbs 16:9, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." That verse is both humbling and freeing. It reminds us that while we make plans, and it's okay to plan, God is the one who ultimately writes the story, and His story is better. His view is higher. His timing is perfect. You don't have to carry the burden of knowing it all tonight. You don't have to analyze every option. You don't have to rehearse every scenario. You can release the need to control or even understand. Because the truth is, God is never late. God is never confused. God is never surprised. He's not anxious about your future. He's not worried about the next chapter. He's not scrambling to make things fit. He already knows the ending. He wrote it in love before you ever took your first breath. What if the very thing you're worried about right now, the delay you don't understand, the plan that didn't work out, the door that didn't open, what if it's not a setback? What if it's a redirection, a divine pause, a hidden reroute, a gentle turn towards something you would never have chosen, but something He's already blessed? God's delays are not denials, and His silence is never abandonment. He sees the road ahead. He knows what's waiting around the bend. He understands the preparation that must happen in you before He can release what you've been praying for. You can rest tonight not because everything makes sense, but because you're trusting the one who always does. You can rest because God is already in tomorrow. He's ahead of you. He's setting things in place. He's aligning people, opportunities, and moments. He's preparing you to not just your circumstances. Sometimes the greatest act of trust is not a bold move. It's a quiet surrender. It's choosing to whisper, "God, I don't see it yet, but I trust you anyway. God, I don't feel ready, but I know you're with me. God, I don't understand the delay, but I believe you're doing something beautiful in it." Faith isn't proven when everything is clear. Faith is proven when we choose to rest before we get the answers. So tonight, take your hands off the plans for a moment. Take your mind off the pressure to perform. Take your heart out of the cycle of overthinking. Let yourself be still. Let yourself be led. You don't have to figure out what comes next. You just have to follow the one who knows the way. And He never misguides. If you've been second-guessing yourself, if you've been asking, "Did I miss it?" if you've been wondering if it's too late or too broken, let this be your reminder: God's hands are wiser than your plans. He can restore what feels ruined. He can reroute what seems delayed. He can bless what didn't unfold the way you imagined. And He can surprise you with beauty in places you thought were barren. So let go tonight. Let go of the deadlines. Let go of the pressure to get it right. Let go of the story you thought had to happen a certain way, and rest in His story, the one where He weaves every misstep into mercy, where He uses every waiting season to grow your roots, where He holds every piece, even the confusing ones, in His perfect hands. Say this softly with me, God. I trust your wisdom more than my own understanding. I trust your timing more than my urgency. I trust your plan more than my fear. Let those words be your lullaby tonight. Because you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are being guided step by step, moment by moment, day by day by a God who sees the whole picture. He sees you here tonight, surrendering, and He smiles. Because this peace you're stepping into is exactly what He wanted for you. Rest, beloved, not because you've got it all figured out, but because He does, and His hands are the safest place your future could ever be. The night can feel quiet, too quiet. When the lights are off and the world slows down, it's easy for the mind to wander, to worry, to remember things you didn't ask to remember, to fear what might happen, or what didn't happen, or what might never come. But tonight, let this truth wrap around your heart like a soft blanket. You are not unprotected in the dark. You are not alone when the world goes still. You are not vulnerable because you've closed your eyes. You are not forgotten when your body lays down to rest. Because the one who guards your life never sleeps. The Word tells us in Psalm 121:3-5, He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. That means right now, this very moment, you are being watched over by the living God. He is alert, He is present, He is active, and He is not going anywhere. There is no moment during the night where you are left uncovered. No moment where you are defenseless. No moment where the enemy can sneak in and surprise God. No moment when you are too vulnerable, too tired, or too unaware. Because God is your night guard. He does not slumber. He does not nap. He does not check out. He does not take turns. He is always awake, fully engaged, fully aware, fully surrounding you. So tonight, let that truth speak louder than fear. If sleep has been hard for you, if you dread the silence, if you've ever felt anxious when the lights go out and your thoughts get loud, you're not weak for feeling that way. You're human, and God knows. He understands the memories that haunt. He knows the thoughts that spiral. He's aware of the stories your mind tries to rehearse at 2 a.m., and He's already there in the silence, speaking peace. The same Jesus who spoke, "Peace, be still," to the storm, now speaks that same peace over you. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." Perfect peace doesn't mean nothing is wrong. It means someone bigger is in charge. Someone who doesn't miss anything. Someone who doesn't leave the room. Someone who is stronger than the fear, greater than the darkness, and more powerful than anything that could come against you, even when you sleep. He never stops protecting you. Tonight, speak peace over your dreams. Speak peace over your thoughts. Speak peace over your sleep. Speak peace over your subconscious fears. Because this room is not empty, it is holy ground. Heaven's presence fills the space around you. You are surrounded by love, by peace, by angels on assignment. Yes, angels. The word says in Psalm 91:11 that God commands his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. That includes tonight. That includes your sleep. That includes your heart and body and mind. You don't have to guard yourself. You don't have to fight in your dreams. You don't have to rehearse worst-case scenarios before bed. Heaven is covering you. Angels are stationed near you. God's presence is within you, and his protection is over you. Nothing can enter this space that God doesn't allow. Nothing. Not fear, not torment, not oppression, not spiritual interference. Your peace has already been paid for. And God is not just watching over your sleep. He's working while you sleep. He's untangling things, healing things, restoring things, arranging things, reordering things you can't even see. He doesn't need your strength tonight. He just needs your trust. And trust sounds like this, God. I surrender my thoughts to you, God. I trust that you're guarding me tonight. God, I know you're awake, so I don't have to be. You've done enough today. Now it's time to release, time to let go, time to breathe deeply and sink into the arms of the one who never leaves you. So close your eyes when you're ready, not in fear, not in pressure, but in peace. Peace that isn't based on how the day went. Peace that isn't based on how tomorrow will go. Peace that flows from the very heart of God who never sleeps. He is here. He is watching. He is working. He is protecting. Let him do what only he can do while you do what he created you to do. Rest. Let your soul exhale. Let your thoughts slow down. Let the tension ease from your body. Let the peace of God rise like a river through your chest. You are safe tonight. Not because of locks or alarms, but because the Lord of heaven is your keeper, and he does not sleep. Whisper this if you'd like God. Thank you that I don't have to stay alert. You never stop watching over me. I trust you with my sleep. The night is not dark to him. The unknown is not unknown to him. The future is not uncertain in his eyes. So rest, child of God. You are wrapped in the safety of the one who sees all, knows all, and holds all. And he's holding you tonight and always. Some things are too heavy to talk about out loud. Some things live quietly inside us, day after day, night after night. They don't always show on our faces. They don't always come out in conversation. But they sit in our hearts like quiet weights, heavy, lingering, unseen by most, and yet fully seen by God. Tonight, you don't need to hide what hurts. You don't need to pretend you're okay. You don't need to explain it perfectly. You just need to know this God sees what you're carrying, and he wants to carry it with you. Some of those burdens have names. Grief that resurfaces when you least expect it. Regret over something you wish you had done differently. Shame from words you believed or moments you can't undo. Secret fears that you've never said out loud, not even in prayer. And maybe, without realizing it, you've been carrying them like silent stones in your soul. Not because you wanted to, but because you didn't know where else to put them. Let this be your invitation tonight. You don't have to carry it anymore. The word says in Hebrews 12:1, Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Lay aside every weight, even if you've been carrying it for years, even if you thought you had to. Even if no one else ever offered to help, there is a place to lay it down tonight. And that place is not a what, it's a who. Jesus is not just your Savior, He's your burden bearer. You were never created to carry all of this alone. You were never designed to be the one holding everything together while your own heart quietly falls apart. You were never asked by God to be the strong one all the time. You were created for relationship, for divine help, for spiritual rest, for holy surrender, and when life feels too heavy, that's the signal to release it. Say this softly. If you can, God, this is too heavy for me. I hand it to you. Maybe it's the ache of missing someone you lost. Maybe it's a secret you've kept because shame told you no one would understand. Maybe it's an old memory that still steals your peace. Maybe it's the pressure to stay strong for everyone else. Maybe it's the quiet pain of dreams that didn't come true. Whatever it is, He can handle it. God is not disappointed in your weakness. He doesn't love you less when you cry. He doesn't pull back when your faith feels fragile. He doesn't get tired of holding you no matter how many times you come back. In fact, He delights in lifting what you can't. Even when you forget to ask, He's already near. Even when you think you're alone, He's still present. Even when you think you're failing, He's gently saying, "Let me hold that for you." Let Him hold it tonight. Hold the sadness. Hold the pressure. Hold the shame. Hold the questions. Hold the aching silence inside your soul. You've done your best. You've carried it as long as you could. But now it's time to let it go. Picture the burden in your hands. Give it shape, give it name, and slowly open your hands as if you were placing it into His. This is what surrender feels like. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's sacred, quiet, holy, and it sounds like this: God, I can't carry this anymore. Will you take it? And His answer is always yes. Yes, I will. Yes, I see it. Yes, I love you. Yes, I'll carry what you can't. The same hands that calmed the sea can calm your soul. The same hands that healed the sick can lift what's hurting in you. The same hands that carried the cross now carry your pain, your past, your pressure. He's not afraid of what's heavy, and He's not asking you to solve it before you surrender it. He just wants you to come to Him. Come tired, come unsure, come trembling, come with tears, come as you are. That's the only requirement. Come. And when you do, He meets you in mercy. He wraps you in peace. He strengthens you with love. He reminds you that you were never created to carry the whole world on your back. Only He can do that, and He already has. So tonight, rest. Rest your mind. Rest your soul. Rest your body. Let God carry what feels too heavy. You don't have to be weighed down in the dark. You don't have to lay awake rehearsing pain. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. You can release it completely, fully, right here, right now. Say this as you settle into stillness: God, I trust you with what's too heavy for me. I release the things I've held in silence. I believe you're strong enough for all of it. Let your heart be light again. not because the problems are gone, but because you no longer carry them alone. Let your soul breathe again, not because life is perfect, but because you've surrendered it to the one who is. And as you rest tonight, he will hold every burden with hands full of mercy and love, hands strong enough to hold the universe and tender enough to hold you. There are moments in life when the road feels uncertain, when no matter how hard you try to plan, you still find yourself asking questions like, am I where I'm supposed to be? Did I miss something? Is there something wrong with me that I can't see the way forward? If you've ever felt that quiet fear, if you're feeling it now, let this truth speak gently to your heart tonight. God knows exactly where you are. You are not lost to him. You are not behind. You are not wandering aimlessly through a life that's off course. You are walking through a story that he is writing one step at a time. Psalm 139:3 says, "You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways." He is familiar with you. He knows your pace. He knows your personality. He knows your patterns. He knows your fears, your dreams, your desires, even the ones you don't speak aloud. There is no confusion in heaven about your life. Not about your timeline, not about your purpose, not about what's next. Even if you feel unsure, even if you feel like you've taken too long, even if you feel like you made the wrong turn, God sees it all, and he's still leading you with love. You are not behind. Let that truth wash over you tonight. You are not behind, not in your calling, not in your purpose, not in your healing, not in your growth, not in your journey with God. And he doesn't measure your life by how fast you move. He measures it by how closely you walk with him. And he walks with gentleness, not pressure. He's not rushing you. He's not shaming you. He's not comparing your path to anyone else's. He leads you step by step with patience and perfect wisdom. If you've ever looked at someone else's life and thought, why am I not there yet? Tonight is your moment to release that pressure. Comparison is a thief of peace, but God's plan for you is custom made. Even your detours are not wasted. Even your delays are not empty. He knows how to take what felt like a wrong turn and use it to lead you to the right place. He knows how to turn closed doors into divine protection. He knows how to turn, "I don't know what I'm doing," into, "I'm finally learning to trust." The road you're on right now may not feel straight. It may not feel easy, but it is not random. God is weaving purpose into every step, even the slow ones, even the broken ones, even the ones you thought were going nowhere. He's not just leading you to a destination. He's forming something beautiful in you along the way. So if you're questioning your path tonight, if you feel stuck, uncertain, or left behind, this is your moment to rest in the truth that God is still leading. And he hasn't lost track of you, not for a second. Maybe you've been praying for direction. Maybe you've been begging for clarity. Maybe you've been afraid of making the wrong move. Let this be your invitation to breathe again. God is not afraid of your questions. He welcomes them. He listens. He walks beside you, even when your faith feels small. Sometimes his direction isn't loud. Sometimes it comes as a whisper. Sometimes it looks like peace you can't explain. Sometimes it's just one small, open door when everything else feels closed. He leads gently. Remember, You don't have to force clarity. You don't have to rush decisions. You don't have to panic about missing your moment. If the door is meant to open, it will. If the step is meant to be taken, He will show you. If the answer isn't here yet, it's because He's still preparing the way or preparing you. You can rest tonight knowing that even when you don't know exactly where you're going, He does, and He's not in a hurry. Say this softly with me. If you feel ready, God, I don't have all the answers, but I trust You to guide me. Even when I can't see the road ahead, I know You are leading me in love. Show me the next right step. That's enough for me tonight. Sometimes we want a map, but God gives us a lamp. Just enough light for the next moment. Just enough peace for the next breath. Just enough assurance to say, I'm still with You. Keep walking. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are not falling behind. You are walking with the God who sees every mile of your journey and walks every step beside you. Let your heart be still. Let the pressure fall away. Let the fear of missing it dissolve into trust. You're not missing your path. You're on it. Even now, even here, even tonight. And the one who leads you is already waiting for you at every turn. Maybe tonight you're wondering, is it too late for me? Did I miss my chance? Is my story already written? Already sealed? Already done? With nothing beautiful left ahead, if you felt that? If you've whispered those questions into the dark? If your soul has quietly asked, God, is there still time for something good to come from me? Let this truth settle gently over your heart. Your story isn't over. Not even close. Because the author of your story isn't finished writing. And He never stops at the chapter you're stuck in. He writes through the silence. He writes through the suffering. He writes through the uncertainty, the age, the fear, the waiting, the wounds. And what He writes is beautiful. Romans 8:28 promises us this, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. In all things, not just the polished ones, not just the parts that look good on paper, not just the years you felt confident or strong or successful, but also the moments you felt broken, the months that were marked by grief, the years that looked like detours, the decades you thought were wasted, the seasons where you had nothing to give but tears. Even those are part of the purpose, and God wastes nothing. Not your pain, not your process, not your prayers, not your past. He can turn the very things you thought disqualified you into the very things He uses to impact others. You may feel like you've been waiting too long. You may feel like other people passed you by. You may feel like your age disqualifies you from significance. But here is heaven's reminder: God doesn't retire calling. He doesn't operate on earthly timelines. He's not watching the clock, you are. And He's not limited by your age. He's unlimited in every way. If you still have breath in your lungs, God still has purpose in your steps. Tonight is not the end. It's an invitation, a gentle, holy whisper that says, "Come trust me again. I'm not done with you." Maybe your calling isn't loud or public. Maybe it looks like comforting a grandchild, or praying for your family, or loving someone who feels forgotten. Maybe it looks like writing a book, starting a ministry, or simply showing up faithfully each day, big or small. What God does through you carries eternal weight. And you haven't missed your moment, even if you've made mistakes, even if you've walked through loss, even if you spent years surviving instead of thriving. God restores, God redeems, God renews. The same hands that formed you in your mother's womb are still shaping the legacy of your life. And He never lets your story end in shame. Let tonight be a line in your spiritual journal. This was the night I remembered that God is still writing something beautiful in me. Let tonight be the moment you say, God, I still believe you have more for me. I still believe you can use my life for something meaningful. I still believe I'm part of your plan. Don't give up just because the chapter has been hard. Don't assume you're forgotten just because it's been quiet. And don't walk away just because you can't see what He's doing. Some of the most beautiful stories take time to unfold. Some of the most important voices rise later in life. Some of the most impactful moments are birthed in seasons that look ordinary. Every night you return to this place. Every prayer you whisper in the dark. Every breath you breathe in faith. You are walking in purpose. And someone else's breakthrough might just be waiting on your obedience. You're not here by accident tonight. You're not listening to these words by coincidence. God is calling you to hope again, to trust again, to believe again, to open your hands and say, Lord, write the next part of my story. I give you the pen. You don't need to know how it ends. You don't need to have the timeline. You just need to be willing to let Him keep going. He's not done. You're not done. And the most meaningful chapters may be the ones still to come. So if you're ready to trust His timing, if you're ready to believe that your story still matters, if you're ready to release your fear of too late and step into right on time, comment Amen. If you're trusting God's timing in your story, subscribe to join this nightly prayer journey and walk the rest of this story with us in faith and peace. You are not too old. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are just right in God's eyes, right on time. Right where He can still use you, right where grace can still reach you. Your story is still unfolding, and the author is still writing. And the best is never behind you. It's still being written beautifully. If this prayer brought you peace tonight, with all my heart, I've prepared a special gift for you. A long-forgotten prayer has just been uncovered, and those who speak it are witnessing miracles, divine favor, and blessings beyond understanding. You'll find this sacred video in the description below. Watch it tonight, and let God's peace guide your soul into rest. Peace isn't something you have to earn. It's not something you have to figure out. It's not something you have to hold together with sheer willpower. Peace is a person, and His name is Jesus. Right now, wherever you are, whether you're lying in bed, sitting in a quiet room, or listening with tears in your eyes, He is here. He hasn't waited for the circumstances to change. He hasn't waited for your thoughts to quiet down. He hasn't waited for the storm to pass. He came right into the middle of it, just like He always does. In John 14:27, Jesus spoke this over His disciples: "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." He didn't say, I will give you peace if everything goes well. He didn't say, I'll give you peace once the storm is over. He said, my peace I give to you. Present tense, personal, freely offered, no conditions, no performance, no striving. That means peace isn't waiting on your next breakthrough. Peace isn't hiding behind a future moment. Peace isn't a reward for having a perfect life. Peace is here, right now, in the presence of Jesus. And the peace he gives is not the world's version. The world offers peace that depends on outcomes, on having answers. Money, health, comfort, approval. But Jesus gives peace that remains, even when everything else shifts, even when things feel chaotic, even when the future is uncertain, even when your heart is tired. You can feel the waves around you and still trust the one who walks on water. You can feel the storm inside you and still rest in the one who calms it with a whisper. Because peace isn't the absence of noise. It's the presence of God, and tonight, that presence is near. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to earn it. You just need to receive it. So take a moment now to let your body come into agreement with the truth your spirit already knows. Let peace enter your breathing. Take a slow breath in. Hold it for a few seconds. And now, gently exhale. Let your shoulders drop. Let your muscles soften. Let the racing thoughts slow. Let your body begin to believe what your heart is learning. You are safe. You are held. You are not alone. Jesus is the Prince of Peace for a reason. He doesn't just give peace. He is peace. When you have him, you have everything you need. And he's not far off. He's not distant or distracted. He's closer than your next breath. He's right here, whispering, I've got you. Rest in me. Let those words echo in your soul tonight. I've got you. Not just your problems, not just your prayers, but you, your personality, your memories, your anxieties, your story, your desires, your pace. You don't have to pretend with him. You don't have to pull it all together before you lay your head down. You just have to let him in. You just have to say, Jesus, I receive your peace tonight. Not peace that depends on outcomes, but peace that comes from your presence. And that changes everything. Because real rest doesn't come from fixing every problem. Real rest comes from trusting the one who holds it all. You can release the pressure. You can silence the inner critic. You can stop replaying the day in your head. You can stop trying to solve tomorrow from the middle of the night. There is grace for now. There is peace for now. There is presence for now. And all of it is found in Jesus. Let his peace meet you where you are, not where you wish you were, not where you think you should be, but here, in this moment, in this breath, in this night. Let his peace settle deep into your soul. Let it reach the hidden places. Let it calm what no one else sees. Let it wash over you like a gentle wave. Even if the world feels loud, your soul doesn't have to be. Even if questions remain unanswered, peace is still possible. Even if everything's not fixed, you can still be held. Say this softly now, like a prayer, Jesus. I receive your peace, not the peace the world gives, but the peace that only you can give. Still my thoughts, quiet my heart, anchor my soul in you. You don't have to earn this stillness. You don't have to deserve it. You just get to receive it. Let peace come. Not because the world makes sense, but because Jesus is with you in it. And as you close your eyes tonight, you are not just falling asleep. You are resting in the arms of peace himself. You are being held by the one who still calms storms, still heals hearts, still stays close, still keeps his word. You don't have to chase peace anymore, because he already came running after you, and he's here, and he's enough, and you are free to rest. Some prayers never make it to our lips. They stay inside, buried beneath layers of emotion, confusion, exhaustion, or fear. We carry them quietly. We think them in passing moments, or in long stares out the window, or when the tears rise and we don't even know why. And yet, God hears them all. The words you couldn't form, he heard those. The sigh you let out this morning when you didn't know what else to say, he heard that too. The ache in your chest when a memory resurfaced, and you just closed your eyes and held it in, that was a prayer. You don't have to speak loudly for heaven to listen. You don't have to speak at all. Because God doesn't just hear your words, he hears your heart. Romans 8:26 reminds us the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. There it is, wordless groans. Not polished speeches, not perfectly structured prayers, just the raw, silent language of the soul. And the Holy Spirit translates that into intercession. What you can't express, he delivers. What you can't untangle, he interprets. What you can't speak out loud, God already understands fully. So if tonight you feel overwhelmed, if your heart is full but your mouth is quiet, if there are emotions you don't know how to name, you're not alone. You are not overlooked. You are not spiritually failing. You are simply in the presence of a God who knows how to listen even to silence. And his response, it's not judgment. It's not impatience. It's comfort. He draws near with gentleness. He meets you in the places that others may never see. He holds the longings you've never dared to speak. He cradles the sorrow you keep tucked away from the world. Tonight, you don't need fancy words. You don't need eloquence. You don't need strength. You just need to be here, now, present with the one who loves you more than you can imagine. Sometimes silence is worship. Sometimes stillness is surrender. Sometimes the quiet of your soul is the loudest cry to heaven. And God answers. He responds to the prayers you've whispered through tears. He responds to the dreams you've been too afraid to believe for. He responds to the pain you've hidden in the corners of your heart. He responds to the waiting, the wondering, the weariness, and he responds with love. Because to him, you are never unnoticed. Maybe tonight you feel like no one understands what you're carrying. Maybe you've said the same prayer for so long. You don't know if you can say it again. Maybe there are desires inside you that feel too fragile to name. Maybe you've gone silent not because you don't believe, but because you're afraid to hope. Beloved, God sees it all, even when you go quiet. He is still close, even when your words run out. His attention doesn't. Even when your emotions feel messy and unresolved. His love remains steady. So take this moment, take this breath, and just be with Him. You don't have to explain. You don't have to impress. You don't have to make it all make sense. You can simply rest in the truth that He sees the prayers you never spoke out loud. Whispers of longing, whispers of grief, whispers of trust, whispers of surrender. They are sacred. They are heard, and they are held in heaven with tenderness. If it helps, place your hand over your heart right now. Feel it beating. That steady rhythm is the sign of a life still loved, still watched over, still in progress. Now, say this softly if you feel ready, God. You know me. Even when I don't speak, you hear my heart. Take what I can't say, hold what I can't carry, understand what I can't explain. That is prayer. That is worship. That is connection. Let your body soften. Let your breath slow. Let the silence become safe again. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to make tonight profound. You just have to let God be near, and He is. He always has been, and He always will be, as you rest. May you feel the nearness of a God who listens without interruption, a God who never misses a heartbeat, a tear, or a sacred silence, a God who sees what no one else sees and loves you all the more for it. Even the unspoken prayers have power, and tonight, every one of them is heard. Every one of them matters. Every one of them is held in the hands of the one who knows you best and loves you most. So rest. He's already listening. Waiting isn't easy. There's something about waiting that tests our deepest places, our trust, our timing, our patience, our hope. And if you've been waiting for healing, for direction, for restoration, for an answer, for a breakthrough tonight, you're not alone. Waiting seasons can feel silent. They can feel slow. They can feel like God is far away, or not listening, or choosing someone else's story over yours. But that is not the truth. The truth is, this God is still good, even in the waiting. Even when you don't have the answer yet. Even when the door hasn't opened yet. Even when it feels like nothing is changing. He is still working. He is still moving. He is still preparing something that will be worth every moment you trusted Him in the dark. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." Not just wait for the thing you're hoping for. Not just wait for the outcome you've been asking about. Wait for the Lord, the one who holds it all, the one who knows the perfect time, the one who's never been early, never been late, only ever right on time. The world tells us that waiting is weakness. But in the kingdom of God, waiting is strength. Because it's not passive, it's powerful. It's not empty, it's full of preparation. It's not silence, it's sacred alignment. What if the wait isn't holding you back, but holding you together? What if it's doing more inside you than you realize? What if God is protecting you from something you're not yet ready for, or preparing you for something you could never imagine? Waiting doesn't mean God forgot. It means He loves you too much to give you something too soon. Because God doesn't just want to give you the thing, He wants you to be ready for it. He wants your heart to be healed, your identity to be rooted, your trust to be anchored, your character to be steady, your faith to be strong. He's doing more than you know. So tonight, Instead of resisting the waiting, what if you embraced it? What if this pause isn't punishment but preparation? What if the silence isn't distance but deep work happening behind the scenes? What if the longer you wait, the greater the glory? You're not waiting in vain. You're not forgotten. You're not falling behind. His delay is not his denial. And his pace is not your punishment. It's his protection. You may not see it yet, but you will. In time. In his time. And when you do, you'll understand why you had to wait. You'll see that the waiting wasn't wasted. You'll look back and say, it was worth it. He knew exactly what he was doing until then. Wait in worship, not in worry. Let tonight be a turning point in your waiting, not where the answer comes, but where the peace comes. Because you don't need the outcome to rest. You just need the assurance that God is near, and He is. So breathe, slowly, deeply. Let your anxious thoughts soften. Let your restless heart be still. God sees the entire timeline. He sees the full picture. He's already in your tomorrow. And He's not just preparing the blessing, He's preparing you to carry it well. Say this softly. With surrender, God, I trust You in the middle of the wait. Even when I can't see it, I believe You're working. Even when it hurts, I choose to stay close. Even when the answer feels far away, I know You're near. Let that prayer rise like worship. Because every time you choose to stay when it's easier to run, every time you choose to trust when it's tempting to doubt, every time you choose to pray when it feels like silence, you're fighting a spiritual battle with patience. Patience is a weapon. It confuses the enemy. It strengthens your spirit. It honors God in ways you may never fully see. You don't have to rush your story. You don't have to make things happen. You don't have to push open a door that's still closed. You just have to stay faithful and rest in the fact that God never leaves a surrendered heart unfinished. The same God who gave you the promise is the one who will fulfill it. And He doesn't need your panic. He just needs your trust. So tonight, let go of the tension. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the fear that maybe He forgot. And take hold of this: He's still good, even now, even here, even in the middle of the wait. Close your eyes when you're ready, and let these final words rest on your soul. God is not delaying to hurt you. He's delaying to help you, to hold you, to heal you, to shape you, to lead you to the best He has. And He always keeps His promises. So sleep tonight in peace, not because you've seen the answer, but because you know the one who holds it. And He is faithful. There are moments in life that simply don't make sense. You've prayed, you've waited, you've tried to do the right thing, and still, something unexpected happened. Still, the door closed. Still, the pain came. Still, the silence lingered. And now, you're here, wondering why, trying to reconcile your faith with your feelings, trying to hold on to hope while holding back tears. If that's you tonight, hear this with all the gentleness in the world. You don't need to have all the answers to be safe in God's hands. You don't have to understand the why to still trust the who. You can be confused and still held, disappointed and still deeply loved, grieving and still surrounded by grace. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Sometimes, That's the hardest part. Because we want to understand. We want to know the reason it happened. We want to make sense of the timing, the outcome, the silence. We want a clear path, a clean explanation, a peaceful resolution. But trust doesn't require clarity. Trust just requires surrender. And surrender sounds like this: God, I don't get it, but I trust you. I don't understand, but I'm still yours. This hurts, but I believe you're still good. Because confusion does not cancel God's faithfulness. Uncertainty doesn't erase His love. Questions don't scare Him away. He's not waiting for you to get it all figured out. He's waiting for you to rest in the fact that He already has. God sees every layer of your situation. He sees what you can't. He knows what you don't. He's working in places you haven't even stepped into yet. And His wisdom is far greater than your current view. If your story feels unfinished, if your prayers feel unanswered, if your heart feels heavy with things you don't understand, let this moment be your gentle reminder: God is still God. And He is still good, even here, even now. Faith isn't proven when life makes sense. Faith is proven when it doesn't, and you trust Him anyway. Because faith grows best in the dark, when the lights are dim, when the way forward isn't clear, when you're walking not by sight, but by a quiet, persistent trust. You may feel like you're wandering, but God calls it walking. You may feel like you're lost, but God calls it led. You may feel like you're stuck, but God calls it stillness for preparation. And He's not disappointed in your confusion. He's not frustrated with your sadness. He's not surprised by your questions. He just wants your heart. Not your understanding, not your answers. Just your trust. Say this softly. Right where you are, God. I trust you even when I don't get it. I trust your heart when I can't see your hand. I trust your timing even when mine is breaking. Let those words be your offering tonight. Not strength, not perfection, just trust. And that trust is beautiful in Heaven's eyes. It's sacred. It's powerful. It's worship. Because you're choosing God over clarity. You're choosing faith over fear. You're choosing presence over answers. And His presence is the answer. So if your life doesn't make sense right now, if the page you're on feels too messy, too painful, too unclear, remember this: the author of your story is still writing. And He never ends His stories in despair. He redeems, He restores, He renews. Even this, yes, even this. Let yourself be held tonight. Not because you understand, but because you're finally done trying to. Lay down the need to explain it all. Lay down the need to fix it all. Lay down the need to see the whole picture and rest in the arms of the one who already does. He's not waiting on your understanding. He's waiting on your surrender. So exhale. Let your body rest. Let your mind slow down. Let your soul settle into peace. Even when life doesn't make sense, God still does. And He's holding you now. With love that doesn't waver. With strength that doesn't fail. With wisdom that sees the end from the beginning. He knows what He's doing. And He's not done yet. So tonight, You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. You don't have to carry the weight of unanswered questions. You just have to be still and let the God who is always faithful remind you of what never changes. You are loved. You are safe. And you are not walking through this alone. Take a deep breath tonight. Not just to relax your body, but to remember your story. Because you've been here before. You've stood in moments that felt uncertain. You've lived through nights you thought would break you. You've faced situations where you had no answers. And somehow, by grace, you're still here. That matters, because it means that the God who carried you then in the valleys, the losses, the confusion, the silence is the same God carrying you now. He hasn't changed. He hasn't stopped. He hasn't let go. Isaiah 46:4 says, "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you." What a promise. There's something sacred about what you say to yourself before sleep. In those quiet, final moments when the world goes still and your thoughts get louder, what you speak over your soul begins to take root. It begins to shape how you rest, how you wake, how you walk into tomorrow. Tonight, let your words be gentle. Let them be holy. Let them be true. Because not everything your mind thinks is true. Not every emotion is your identity. Not every fear deserves your agreement. Sometimes, you have to speak back. Not with anger, not with panic, but with the steady voice of truth. Just like the psalmist in Psalm 42:5 who said, "Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise Him, my Savior and my God." He didn't just listen to his "before this day ends," before you close your eyes, before you drift into sleep. Take one last moment to surrender. Not out of fear, not because you're forced, but because you know this truth in your heart. God's hands are the safest place your life could ever be. You've made it through another day. You've listened, prayed, breathed, and released. And now, you stand at the edge of night with one final invitation. Will you give it all to Him? Every concern still lingering, every weight still pressing on your heart, every unspoken fear, every dream still waiting, every person you love, every unknown in tomorrow. Even the parts of yourself you're still healing from. All of it belongs in His hands. The Word says in Psalm 55:22, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. He will sustain you." He won't just carry what you give Him. He'll carry you. Because what you place in His hands doesn't disappear. It's not lost. It's not overlooked. It's kept, protected, watched over, transformed. Maybe there are still some things clinging to your heart tonight. A worry you haven't fully let go of. A person you can't stop thinking about. A fear you tried to release, but still feel pressing on your chest. This is your moment to let it go for real. Not just with words, but with trust. You don't have to carry it into sleep. You don't have to carry it into tomorrow. You can cast it into the hands of a faithful God who never loses what we place in His care. Speak it now, if you can. Say it quietly. Say it like you mean it, God. I give this to you. God, I place this person, this situation, this fear into your hands. Because when we give it to Him, we're not giving up, we're letting go. And letting go is the final act of faith. It says, I don't need to understand it to trust you with it. I don't need to control it to believe you're working in it. I don't need to see the whole picture to know you're painting something beautiful. Look back for a moment on everything God has walked you through, even in just these past few days or weeks. The quiet comfort He's offered. The strength you didn't know you had. The whispers of peace when you were overwhelmed. The ways He's been guiding you, even when you couldn't feel it. And know this, He will not stop now. God does not drop what we place in His hands. He does not forget. He does not delay out of indifference. He receives it all with love. So tonight, let this entire day, every moment, every emotion, every memory be sealed in His presence. Let the final breath before sleep be your offering. Let the final thought before you close your eyes be this: God, I trust you with everything I can't hold anymore. And if you're ready to truly surrender, softly speak this prayer with me. A prayer of surrender before sleep. Father, thank you for walking with me through this day. Thank you for the moments of joy, and even the moments that challenged me. Thank you for being faithful, even when I felt unsure. Tonight, I release everything into your hands. I place my worries there. I place my hopes there. I place my relationships there. I place my decisions there. I place my body, my health, my future there. You are God, and you are good. You never sleep. So I don't have to stay awake worrying. You are strong enough to hold what I cannot. You are wise enough to know what I do not. You are loving enough to care about what no one else sees. I trust you tonight, and I trust you with what comes next. Let this night be holy because it is fully yours. Amen. You don't have to leave anything out. There's no burden too small, no detail too insignificant. If it matters to your heart, it matters to His. And if you're placing everything in God's hands tonight, comment, I trust you. Lord, not for performance, not for pressure, but as a quiet declaration of faith, as a gentle echo of your surrender, as a way to let someone else scrolling know they're not the only one choosing trust tonight. And if this prayer brought peace to your soul, share this with someone who needs peace, someone who's carrying something heavy, someone who feels like the night is too much, someone who just needs to be reminded they're not alone. Because you never know whose heart could be lifted by your faith. Let this be the night you finally put it all down. Not halfway, not temporarily, but fully, completely, peacefully. Because this night is no longer yours to manage. It's God's to hold. And what He holds, He heals. What He holds, He blesses. What He holds, He transforms. So breathe deeply. You are safe. You are covered. And everything is in His hands now. That's not just enough. That's everything. Let this be your permission to rest. Not just to sleep, but to exhale, to soften, to stop rehearsing what-ifs, to stop rewinding today or racing into tomorrow. This night is holy, not because of what happened today, not because you did everything right, but because God is here, and He's holding everything now. Your thoughts, your fears, your hopes, your body, your soul, your story. You're not drifting off into emptiness. You're being wrapped in peace, tucked in by the presence of the one who never sleeps. Psalm 4:8 says, "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." That promise is for you tonight, right where you are, in this very moment, with everything still unfinished, with questions still unanswered, with life still unfolding, and yet, peace is here, not because it all makes sense, but because you trust the one who holds what doesn't. You don't need all the pieces figured out. You just need to rest in the truth that God is not overwhelmed. He is not panicked. He is not late. He is not distant. He is holding it all. The path before you, the people you care about, the prayers you've whispered, the healing you need, the answers you've waited for. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." You don't need to force peace. You don't have to earn it. You just receive it. And right now, you can say with calm assurance, "God, I trust you. I trust you with everything." You are not alone tonight. Even if the room is quiet, even if no one else knows what you're thinking, even if you feel invisible, forgotten, or small, heaven sees you. And God is right here, closer than your breath. So now, as your body prepares for rest, let your spirit settle deeper into His peace. You don't need to protect yourself. You are already protected. You don't need to stay awake watching over your life. God never sleeps. He's watching while you rest. You don't need to keep striving. He's already gone ahead of you into tomorrow. And He's holding it all so you don't have to. Let's speak these final whispered affirmations together. You don't need to say them loudly. Just let them be soft echoes in your heart. I am safe. I am loved. I am not alone. Breathe that in. You are safe. Nothing can separate you from His presence. Not worry, not fear, not doubt, not fatigue. You are loved, not because of how much you prayed or performed today, but because He is love, and He chose you long before you even knew Him. You are not alone. You are covered, surrounded, cherished, and watched over by a faithful God. Let your body relax now. Let your muscles soften. Let your breath slow. Let your heart stop racing. Let your mind release its grip. This moment is yours. This peace is yours. This night belongs to the Lord, and you belong to Him. Would you like to end with one final prayer? Just say it gently in your heart as I speak it over you. Final breath prayer, Father, into your hands. I place my life tonight, all of it, the seen and the unseen, the heavy and the light, the hopes and the heartaches, the known and the unknown. I trust you with it all. I don't have to understand it to know you're good. I don't have to see the path to know you're leading me. I rest now in your presence because you're holding everything, and that's more than enough. Amen. Tonight, your peace is not circumstantial. It is spiritual. It is sacred. It is supernatural. This night is sealed in divine peace. May the Lord bless your body with deep, uninterrupted sleep. May your dreams be gentle, full of comfort, grace, and healing. May your home be filled with the warmth of God's presence. May your tomorrow rise with fresh mercy, renewed strength, and unshakable hope. You've done enough. You've surrendered enough. You are held. Let the silence be your sanctuary. Let the stillness be your safety. Let this final breath carry you into rest. And as you sleep, God is still working. God is still loving. God is still holding everything. Come back here every night. This is your sanctuary of peace. Good night, beloved. Sleep in peace. He's got you.